Alright, so in this problem, we need to find the coordinates of the endpoints of the latus rectum for the parabola x squared equals 4y. Alright, so here, first we need to understand that the parabola opens upward. So how do we know that? Because the one with the square is x, and then on the right side, you can see it's positive 4y. So if the parabola opens upward, in general, the formula for the ends of the latus rectum are h minus 2p. Again, this is the general formula, but we will simplify that later on because what we have here is a parabola wherein the vertex is at the origin. So h plus 2p, comma, k plus p. Sorry, k plus p. Again, since the vertex is at the origin, meaning our h and k are both 0, so we can just get rid of that h, that k, sorry, that h, that is 0, that's k, that will be 0. So it's going to reduce the formula to negative 2p, excuse me, and then p, and then on the other hand, we have 2p, comma, p. And as you notice, the y coordinates are the same. So the p, for the p rather, we just need to solve that, okay? So to solve for p, that depends on the coefficient of y. So that's 4, which means 4p equals 4, p equals 1. If that's the case, then that means the ends of our latus rectums are negative 2 times 1, comma 1, and then 2 times 1, comma 1. So by substituting the value of our p. And then finally, we have negative 2 comma 1, positive 2 comma 1. There you go. Alright, let's answer the next one. Okay, so here we have to find the coordinates of the endpoints of the given endpoints of the latus rectum of the given parabola. Just like in problem number 9, example number 9. But here, it's a different example. We need to simplify the equation here in such a way that it should be similar to the ones on top. Either x squared equals 4py or y squared equals 4px. So what I'm going to do here is I will divide both sides by negative 3. So that will reduce the equation to x squared equals negative 48 divided by 3 is negative 16y. So which means by just looking at this equation, the parabola opens downward. So if the parabola opens downward, the general formula for the ends of our latus rectum are h minus the absolute value of 2p, comma, k plus p. Okay, and then we have h plus the absolute value of 2p, comma, k plus p. All right. So now the next thing that we will do is to solve for p. Okay, so for p we have 4p equals negative 16. So p equals negative 4. Okay. But the next thing that we will do here first is simplify the formula because our h and k are both 0. Just like what we did in the previous example, this is just going to be absolute value of 2p, comma, p, and then absolute value of 2p, comma, p. P is negative 4, so which means this is negative 2 times negative 4, comma, negative 4. And then on the other side, we have 2 times negative 4, absolute value of that, comma, negative 4. So 2 times negative 4 is negative 8, but absolute value of that is 8. There's a negative outside, so this will just be negative 8 and negative 4. And then for the other end, we have 2 times negative 4, that's negative 8. Absolute value of that is positive 8. And then comma, negative 4. And then as you can see, the y coordinates of the latus rectum of this one is they're the same. So notice that for the parabola that opens downward and for the parabola that opens upward, the y coordinates are the same. Okay. There you go. So let's go for example number 11, and this time we have y squared equals negative 40x. Again, we need to find the coordinates of the endpoints of the latus rectum of the given parabola. So since the parabola opens to the left, now the reason why I know that, or we know that, is because the y is the one with the square, and then the coefficient of the x on the right side is negative, so that means the parabola opens to the left. So if that's the case, our formula for the ends of our latus rectum are h plus p, general formula, I'm writing the general formula, h plus p, comma, k plus 2p, absolute value of that, then comma, open parenthesis, h plus p, comma, excuse me, k minus absolute value of 2p. Okay. So if you notice, this is like the number 10, example number 10, the formula. You just need to switch the x and the y, right? As you can see. See that? Okay. So since again the h and the k are both 0, so that means I can just erase that, erase that, erase the h, erase the k. That's going to give us p, comma, absolute value of 2p. Then we have p, comma, negative absolute value of 2p. So what's the p? Let's see. 4p equals negative 40. That means p equals negative 10. So that's divided by 4 on both sides. Okay. Since p is negative 10, that means this will just be negative 10, comma, negative 10 times 2 is, okay, I'll just write it there. There you go. Then absolute value of that. So negative 10, comma, negative, and 2 times the absolute value. 2 times negative 10, and then absolute value. 2 times negative 10 is negative 20. Absolute value of that is negative 20. So this is just be, sorry, absolute value of negative 20 is positive 20. There you go. On the other hand, we have negative 10, then it will just be negative 20. All right, let's go to the last one. Here we have negative 10y squared equals negative 80x. So just like what we did example number 10, we need to simplify this equation in such a way that it should be equal to or the same as the ones on top. Okay. So I'll divide both sides by negative 10. So cancel this. So this is y squared equals 8x. So the parabola here opens to the right. Okay, so if it opens to the right, our formula is going to be h plus p, comma, k plus 2p. So here there's no absolute value. That's the difference of this if the parabola opens to the left. So if it opens to the left, that 2p has an absolute value. Just to give you a context, or give you more information about the formulas. Again, I'm giving it a general formula first, and then let's simplify that. That'll be p, comma, 2p. And again, the reason behind that is because our h and k are both 0. P, comma, negative 2p. So let's solve for p. So 4p equals 8. P equals positive 2. So divided by 4, divided by 4. Which means this is 2, comma, 4. Right? 2 times 2 is 4. 2, comma, negative 2 times 2 is negative 4. So negative 2 times the p, which is 2, that's negative 4. 2 times the p, which is equal to positive 4.